was one of the biggest years that I've had under my sleeve, and it's been busy all through, and I had really little time to address or go for interviews, from one place to the other, and therefore this is one of the reasons why 2020 has come to us. My team and I decided to call on the press so that we can have a nice time, a beautiful time, actually dialoguing and asking questions, and me also telling you what my plans are for the rest of 2020. So thank you very much. Yeah.
You're welcome. So we're going to jump straight into it. First point is your album. It's almost 3 years since you released Epistles of Mama, the EOM album. Number 13 on the Billboard charts. Major collaborations. I saw you tour Jamaica, parts of the UK, and a number of states in America. So we can only be excited on hearing that there's another album coming.
Absolutely.
So please do give us some more details about this new album, if possible, all the details we need.
Okay, to start with, I'll say this album is another milestone that's going to be dropping from me, because the last album, which was the Epistles of Mama, actually had me do many collaborations. Almost all the two sides had artists that featured both on the reggae side and on the Afrobeat with the dancehall blend. So we had 24 songs and have done a lot with it. The album was released on the 12th of December 2017. So I think we are 2 years in, so the main reason behind this particular album is that I think a lot of things have happened between 2017 and 20, seeing African music actually take different turns and reach different heights on the continent. And as a creative, from noticing this and having been a part of the change as well, there is a need for me to continue to raise the bar and define myself more and more musically. So this album was meant to be a 12-track album, but pushed to 15-track so that I can actually serve the purpose of it, and not just because it's music. One thing I can say about the album is that it's tailored to suit every region, literally, of the world. We have reggae songs that will target probably Jamaica and the Caribbean. We have dancehall songs that will target within the UK and the Jamaica as well, and even into the urban African society, because most of the music that we enjoy lately is a combination of dancehall and Afrobeat, literally, which is what I represent, We have collaborations that would wow you, and I actually have pushed the bar in such that I think I have actually expressed my creativity, on this album properly. People will find me singing my dialect in a way they have never probably thought that I could understand. Both the tree, the airway, and everything. Which brings me to the fact that this album actually was cooked with the aim of bringing people, uniting the sounds that we've already had. And you guys are finding it. Sometimes, I find it difficult detailing stuff. I only see images. And that's it. Let's get on to the next one.
All right, I'm sure you guys will have all the questions you want. For those of you who are close to the projector, we'll be projecting a few things, so please just, I think that's fine enough. We're going to have the DJ play one of the songs off the EOM album, I think most original with Sean Paul or any other one, and then we'll be back to speak about the Beam Shop and more. Thank you. conference for those of you watching live via his Instagram, Facebook, and Facebook, I think. Thank you guys so much for joining us there. And again, thank you to each and every one of you media personalities here to share the next phase of Stonebwoy's story with us. For those of you following him on Instagram, you probably noticed the Beam Buy store on Instagram. We've seen the merchandise, there's some on display here, we've seen some on the projector as well. Stone, what can you tell us about your merchandise line?
Thank you very much. You know, over the years I've been kicking the beam to the world, the assignment to the world, literally, you know. And as part of the plans that I have always had, I decided to open a shop, you know, to represent the brand, and as well, you know, with a lot of good things in mind, such as actually having like a landmark, you know, with the whole movement in the place that I grew up, in the place that's shaping me till now, you know. So I know when the questions start flowing in, we can deliberately, you know, we can go deeper into. But the inspiration is literally to leave something significant to the people, because I know a lot of people love the brand, they love Stonebwoy, and may not be able to see me or have me close to them as much as they could grab something that belongs to me, something that comes from me, you know, to keep, you know what I mean, as a form of souvenir, you know, and more.
So this store is located in Ashama?
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Right in the heart of Ashama. So as you get over the bridge, it's right opposite the engine filling station right there.
Okay. All right. And I'm sure in the course of the questions and answers, we'll be able to see some of the merchandise. It's on the right. I know how media people have covered it, but then it's also being shown on the projection, so you could take a look at that. For those of you watching us via the live stream, just look for the Buy Beam handle on Instagram, BUYBHIM, Buy Beam, and you can see all of the merchandise there and start purchasing. Touring is nothing new to you. You know, you've been all over the world. Going into 2020, we were excited again because you announced first off the North American tour. Could you give us a few details about that?
Yeah, thank you very much. As my album plans to drop anytime soon, you know, I also decided to do a number of runs with it, you know, and then fortunately as well, my team has been planning something beautiful out there in North America. You know, last year I had us celebrate the year of return, and now it's beyond the return. So I think that the times are here where I do not regard the world far away from me now. You know, neither are we far away from the world. We have to actually push a lot, especially as Ghanaian artists. We have a lot of work to do. So this is a part of the reason why immediately, whilst or after the album drops, we'll have to hit the road to send the message across the world.
Thank you. And going into the UK for a couple of years now, we've all seen Nigerian brothers and sisters sell out, you know, O2 arenas. And the question is always, when will it be Ghana's turn? It's 2020 is that year, starting off with you. You've got 3 major venues locked. You've got London, Manchester, and Birmingham.
Absolutely.
Any other details you can tell us before the questions start coming in?
Yeah, it's a lot of things, you know. Sometimes, honestly speaking, I'm super good in front of the audience on stage time, and these ones, you know, I hardly am able to talk too much about them. But like you said, these are like major things that are going on in our industry, especially for the beginning of the year. Doing these 3 venues in the UK is actually, like you said, the Nigerians have always sort of like, you know, pushed very hard and have had us, you know, lurking behind. And so we actually are in need of these movements, you know, that are on equal levels or more to push the country's agenda when it comes to entertainment and music. So these are the reasons why, you know, we have work to do this year. Yeah.
Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll start taking your questions. I don't know if there's anything you'd want to address before we start taking your questions. If you'd like to ask a question, just raise your hand. We'll have a microphone passed to you and you can fire away.
Thank you very much. And also to add on before the questions start coming, once more I'll say thanks to everybody who made it here. And this is actually an avenue where you can equally ask your questions. Feel free, throw it at me, and my answer would be the best one, I guess. So let's get going.
All right. Question time. Okay. To the gentleman to my left, in the corner, the blue shirt. Just raise your hand to bring the microphone here. So a quick introduction, let us know who you are and where you're repping from.
Hello. Hello.
Okay, I'll pass you back.
Hello. Yeah, I'm Freddie Mauli. I represent Stonebwoy. I would like to find out from Stonebwoy the title of the album, of the upcoming album, and whether
Yeah, go ahead.
he has a promotional plan that will put the album to the level of giving nomination at the Grammy.
Nice. You'd like to know the name of the album and if there's a promotional plan behind it to get it to the Grammys.
Thank you very much. There is definitely a plan, or there are plans, and I think a part of it is the tours and stuff that you guys are seeing here to promote the album. All up until, the height of, like you saying, getting a possible nomination at the Grammys. You know what I mean? There is a plan. And the name of the album is definitely gonna be leaked ASAP. One thing I'm very sure about here is that this, if you're close to me and you know what's going on in the camp about this particular album, we have long done the work, but still struggling with just the word with it. I need to make you fun. I need to let you guys know. But we finalize and we're sure of, one name that we have. I can assure you that the album drops on the 5th of March, which is my birthday.
5th March.
And things. But the name will come along, soon. Just, let's make it interesting.
Okay. Any other questions? Just raise your hand. Microphone will come to you.
Beam. Hello. So, my name is Gerard from GB Africa and also PLC. Bobo himself. So I just want to ask a little bit of a question here. Yes, you'll be touring Europe and then UK. Do you have plans for East Africa? Because according to one or two research I've done, I think they are yearning to see you this year.
Thank you very much. Yes, very well. I think Africa is one place that I haven't been able to pull up a tour to the way we all travel about. And it's in my plans. I've visited and performed and done some great things across countries on the African continent, but we haven't put out a tour yet, to kick with. And in my plans for 2020, God permits, that is also part of the plans. East Africa has been home for a very long time. People do not actually know some of the collaborations that I have had done over there, and some of the underground works also that have gone on, especially on the continent of Africa itself. So I pray that 2020 gives us life and gives us the logistics that it takes to be able to run through this ends.
Next question.
Okay, so my name is KMJ, I'm with Multimedia Group. My question is very simple. I'm sure a lot of people would say it's a no-go area because a lot has been said about it already, but I want to find out something. The VGMA has brought a lot of issues last year.
Yeah.
We've moved past some of the things that actually happened. Interestingly, it's only the fans who keep saying, we want them back, we want them this, we want them that. Now, there's a decision to be made, and until then, we can't say anything more.
Yeah.
But I want to find out from you as an artist, as the most prestigious awards scheme in Ghana, how do you feel looking at the fact that there's a possibility you may not be part of it?
part of.
Of the VGMA is the
Oh,
You as
VGMA.
an artist, how do you feel about it?
VGMAs. We give thanks, you know, and then you see, we're all learning, you know, we're learning, we're growing, and we're thanking God that we've moved a long time from being boys to men, and so we're faced with real life circumstances, you know. These are not supposed to be problems at all. If you're open-minded, you know that it all plays to be a part. Music itself in Ghana is older than VGMAs. So I think for respect has to be accorded, respect would have to be accorded, most prior respect would go to music and therefore musicians before even anybody who seeks to look at the works of these musicians and give them a plaque or two. You feel me? Having a good intention to, you know, add value to the artist's career. You know what I mean? This, I suppose, is the intention of every awards scheme. But honestly speaking, I as a creative do not think that the power lies in award schemes in making the music or a musician. You know, absolutely, it may not, because award schemes and VGMAs come in once a year and go. But the artists have to do a million things a year to be able to retain a position where an award can recognize to even work with them. You know what I mean? So on the general for that is what I have to say. Looking at my demeanor, mentioning my exit from VGMA actually made me smile. You know, I'm smiling about it. I think I understand it to a height where I, as a particular artist, I wouldn't cry over a thing like this, because what it is that I know beyond just my involvement. So I believe that a cross-section of my fans, some will feel like, oh, but from where I stand, I think it's time for me to start explaining to some of these fans to understand the actual process that it is. You know what I mean? So VGMAs I'm not hurt at all, that I'm not a part of. The last time I spoke on radio, answering to that via Uncle George, I was answering to Uncle Razoma that I think I second him, because the decision has long been taken for the extension or the maintenance of the ban period. I would even wish that it's extended the more, so that it can actually deter the upcoming ones from misbehaving as they have planned it. Because I think that it's good for the up and coming ones to be afraid to know that if you mess about, you can miss a prestigious awards like this for years. You see? Yeah.
If the ban is lifted within a short time,
Yeah.
and you are nominated, would you compete?
Thank you very much. There's a huge business after the ban is lifted. There's trouble. There's trouble between when the ban is lifted and when we accept. I'm not gonna say just I, because I know my other brother, this always he charged for that 5 hours. You know, so just as usual, I'm always a spokesperson. You guys saw it there. I'm a spokesperson when it comes to press. Aside that, he can actually speak for himself. I sometimes have to call him to help me speak on my behalf. So some of the videos you see, I inspire the video somehow, because he knows he's kicking it for all of us as Bridget. As for the VGMA, when the ban is lifted, I think that both teams, mine and his, would want to have a, they say, caucus meeting. Yes, we'll caucus it before we see. Oh, Mr. George. Sorry. You know, because I respect that. You know, I respect that VGMA as a prestigious award doesn't take decisions, you know, by a person. Although it has a CEO and whatever, anything CEO says, is actually a combination of all the things that she had to minus, sleep over, and accept to face to come and say. So when the ban is lifted, we will all both treat each other nicely and sit behind doors and see the way forward and how it's going to affect the Ghanaian masses and the music industry better. Not how it's going to affect VGMA better, financially, whateverly, and neither us, but for everybody, because there are interests at stake. So there have to be a consensus at certain levels for if the ban is lifted or not. But I think 2-3 more years is okay for the punishment for the in future of the mess up of the up and coming ones. Yes. And the next question, sorry, I was answering this one to you. She asked you, and the inspiration behind the beam shop. Thank you very much. I believe that the most successful entrepreneurs and entertainers actually have to exercise the entrepreneurial shape with the brand that they have created. So I think that is the key point, as to why I have to, because definitely everybody feeds, everybody lives, everybody must actually make progress and do some sort of business in life. So this is one of them. But you see, it's a beautiful thing to have if the inspiration behind such entrepreneurial movements is people-based and people-minded, and it's a thing that goes more into how do you say this word the love that people have for you, like the sentimental attachment and stuff, So this is the reason why I had to put something down so that my people can identify with. It even serves as a tourist end, trust me. When somebody comes out, anybody's looking for Stonebwoy or whatever, you could go around, they show you it was Bob Marley's birthday today or something. These are things that he has left certain marks that you can actually see in person to have a feel of, So that's the plan long term, Many things are going to be coming up anyways, not only the shop and stuff. And mind you, this is something I've never said though, but proceeds from the shop, 1% of the proceeds from the shop are going straight to the Livingston Foundations to continue to help to do this 1 or 2 things that we do to help people. You feel me?
Yes, Stonebwoy, my name is Kwame Dazi, and I work with CF TV. I want to congratulate you for the good thing you are doing, the good work you are doing. But I would like to know who your manager is now. Is it Wisdom? Because I've heard rumors that Wisdom is not your manager. Is he now the manager of Stonebwoy? And apart from that, I would like to know, since you elevated, quote unquote, Black City from the status of a manager to an agent, what work has he done as an agent for Stonebwoy?
Thank you very much. I respect the question a lot. I respect the question a lot. First of all, I take it from the manager bit, easy. And as of now, I think I haven't announced any manager yet. And I believe that Ghanaians are used to the word manager. And therefore, it goes that way. Most people get very familiar with our managers, even than ourselves. And 1,001 businesses do go past us and we don't even know. So it gets to a point where, like, in Ghana, as far as I'm concerned, the manager, that person as a manager tends to have like a very huge responsibility and whatever. When there's success, it goes straight to manager. When there's failure, it goes straight to artists in the face. It's just like, that vibe. But no success has much been accorded to artists, but to teams and manager and all of that. So I respect the role of manager. You see what I'm saying? But Black City is no more, aka City Mohammed, is no more my manager. As we duly said, due to structural, fixations in my camp, I know a lot of people have said so many things that they've heard and some haven't heard, some moving with speculation, some moving with what they want to move with. It's all good, it's life, trust me honestly. Life goes on and that's how life goes, We need to get some shocks to be able to change them. We need to get some shocks to be able to move and put things right. Has he done any work as an agent? No, he hasn't. And the reality is that there were understandings or conversations prior to my announcement, and that that was verbally agreed upon until it wasn't formally signed. So Black CD Mohammed hasn't done any work agent-wise and is definitely not in any capacity, obliged to. Whereas I have to state clear that we don't have any work ties together anymore, like work ties, whether via booking, whether by agency, whatever. There's no work tie between my good brother and I, That's it. And then Wisdom is my PA. Wisdom is actually in real life Wisdom Joti Edwards, who is a cousin of mine from my mom's side, if you want to know, extensively, because and he's been my brother. He's played so much. He's been here. He's been with me from day. And so I think that people are seeing him now in the fore more, and some are calling him manager, and some are actually pushing the manager title on his head. I think that only stays in the Ghanaian region. What I know now, if I didn't even know before, is that every artist needs a team. And you have management and might not necessarily have a manager, because you either have a business manager, a personal manager, a road manager. So the word manager may not be able to sit well on the head of just a person. But here in Ghana, you call the manager when you want interviews. You call that same person when you want businesses. You call that same person when, all issues have to go through that same person. So it makes it like it's one man thing. It's not a one man thing. As an artist and as one that seeks to grow, there's a team. So you need management. Although if you want to book Stonebwoy, like I've always said, I think between the period and now, people have found their ways out already, and we've been doing a lot of things. What you people might be in, one thing I want to add is that, the roles that in my team, we roll as a team. People play roles to just get the work done. And if I tell you what role I play, have played, still play, and forever will play, as a musician, you might call me a businessman the next minute, and not a musician. Yeah.
Okay. My name is Mr. Logic. I would like to represent myself.
Bingo.
Yeah. And I would like to speak in the language you're most familiar with, My question is two of them. And basically is a concern, about the whole industry. I wish, well, it's my wish, you can probably ignore, but I wish you don't really get yourself back into the GMAs, because, it's under no circumstance any award scheme has the power to ban any artist. It's an independent entity. They can ban an artist because it's their business. But they're doing business with the artist, with the work of the artist. So on that side, I think you feel if you want to get back to it, you can always get back to them. But it was wrong for them to ban any artist. That's my question. Number two, my question is coming. My question is, were you forced to unite with Shatta? Because your musical, riff with Shatta was very interesting. It kept dancehall in business. And, it kept all the Afrobeat guys at the back door. And the world was happy because it was through this rate that we're all in business. Since you guys united, it has put some of us out of business. And we have never been happy. We are still hoping that it triggers again. So I want to know, were you forced to unite musically? I know it wasn't a personal hit. Were you forced to unite musically? And do you think it was necessary? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'll start it from where you ended. So, I understand these issues. I'm here with the people. I'm active on social media. I read the news. I know what's going on. He's not telling one lie. Everything he's saying he's not actually, he might be representing himself, but he's not actually talking just for himself. He's talking for a lot of people. I got that yesterday from somewhere, like, ever since you guys, the heat, they come again. enjoy the heat sometimes anyway, you know. So it actually has been, there was no force, I think there was no force to start with, under which we had to succumb to unite, you know, or to show unity, you know what I mean. Shatta and I we have history, for real, from time. I think one that only close people who are privileged get to know about. But in the media light, over a number of years, our feud is real. I think people sometimes say, "Oh, but what Shatta now?" And to me, Shatta say, "Baby, this is real. Who knows? People know the extent to which it went." And I think that what happened on the VGMA is to climax the heights of it. Actually, took us to the world. It sent us all across. We even got featured in Arabic news writings, in Russian, in TMZs. And I immediately my picture was used for scary movie titles with one things at one, you know. I think we came out to do the right thing. The right thing most often doesn't make people happy, you know. And I tell you sometimes both of us have been sad that we did that. Because sometimes there are some things he can come and say at me that he wouldn't say now, and even me, some things I can come and say at him that he wouldn't say now. But we are two different people still, and I think that Ghana now has gotten to a level, or we have, by at least even the last deed that happened, gotten a name to certain levels. Now, what are we going to do now that we have the attention? What are we going to continue to do now? Are we going to sell Ghana the right way, capitalize on the attention drawn now to move 100 steps ahead into that time, and also equal our rivals or equal people who have long gone past us? Because the beef was actually beneficiary to some people, but ultimately it wasn't any good look for us. It wasn't bringing anything to the ultimately, like, overall. In the end, we would still lose. So we would rather probably lose certain things now and still move forward. The biggest beef, dancehall beef, once upon a time, is the Bounty Killer and Beanie one, you know. And today, you and I know the levels at which they are. They vibe, but it will never be as if they were best friends. You see what I mean? So me and Shatta, as much as you guys see it, we're honestly speaking, we're good bridging now, but we're not best friends. You know, we can't just get up and assume that we've been super cool over. And men are very real when it comes to these things. But him and I will pick a conversation once, mostly pertaining to the industry and what we're supposed to do together in our differences, because this is the time for us to make some difference. You know, you guys are used to the beef, get used to the chicken, and you know, small time, you know, you guys know how to incite us. Let's start your right buttons.
My name is Manaja Saturday. I'm from City TV and City FM, and I must say congratulations to you, Stonebwoy. Started the year on a very bright note. Your album, 15 tracks on the album, I can't wait to hear it. And also the answers you gave to the VGMAs as well, brilliant answers. And I know you care about the youth and also the people that you're actually inspiring. But I'll move to the question of your ex-manager. Okay. So, you were the perfect romance to all of us. People looked up to how you managed you, and people looked up to how you actually related to your manager. Out of the blue, it came out that Stonebwoy and the manager, Black City, were no more. And Stonebwoy had been elevated when it was written as an agent. So with the post of an agent, we didn't see him doing much. No one came to, you highlighted what he was going to do, but we didn't see him doing much. And now he's no longer with the team. An artist has a right to reshuffle his management team if he believes he's not growing, or if he believes that the manager doesn't serve the purpose why he's been hired. However, fans of I'm a fan, so am I a media personality. We would like to know the exact reason why Black CD was moved to be an agent, and now, hearing from now, he is no longer part of the team. I remember I saw him at Ashaman to the World. He came with a few people on a moped. He was quite emotional. I didn't know why he was emotional, but he kept on chanting, like, this is me, this is me. And you could tell he was hurting. And I don't know why he's hurting, because he's never come out to tell me why he's hurting. But, sorry? Yeah, so we never come out to say why he's hurting. Because you guys were so great, even the VGMAs, how he stood up for you, even how you treat him. I've interviewed you on a lot of platforms, and you have never disrespected him. Never have you. So you treat him with respect. We sit here as media people. So just to know, why did this beautiful bromance just end all of a sudden without any explanation?
Thank you very much. I think the question is great, but it moved more into being a personal one, you know, like everybody caught the clue. I know you're a huge friend of all of us, you know what I mean? And I think that you said something, I've never disrespected him and I've treated him nicely. So I think that, which is key that I'll point out upon, somebody, I'm a people's person. Every single person around my team, knows me. I'll choose myself last over all of them when I have to. When I have to play defense for these people, I play it to the core, you know, and I'm their commander, get me? As young and little as I am, you know, I'm the governor, you know?
Yeah.
In government, yeah? See? I think, and you said I've never disrespected him, so I'll never disrespect him also. If you know, that's why some of the things don't have to be said. Exactly. That's why I managed to, as a CEO, as a thinking person, and somebody who will never disrespect him, will continue to keep it that way, even if it sounds confusing till the end. You know, because not all that glitters is gold. I'm answering from a brotherly point of view, which is a general thing that we all have to know, not from a corporate or work-based point of view. The most relationships that break, that hurts people, are the ones that felt and looked the greatest. But you should know that not all that glitters is gold, and there are so many things that have to go on behind the scenes to maintain such relationships. You know, meanwhile, most often it's supposed to be two-sided. And when it becomes one-sided, it can only last back for a while. You know what I mean? You're a personal person to me, and I'll answer you from a personal point again. Should I go about stealing things? I think that wouldn't be a solution to the problem. We have sat as people, as mature persons, and have arrived at solutions a number of times. This is somebody, a brother that he is to me, like you know, like a Sarkodie would be to Angel. We are the squad that came up introducing our friends as our managers and teaching them on the job whilst we did the hustle. Ask Sarkodie, ask Shatta Wale, ask Stonebwoy. This is real. I'm dealing with you on a personal person. I'm sorry, but I have to. We introduce our friends as that, and I've had to do a lot of work that is unseen, and I have to shift the credits to the right place that it belongs to make us look professional, and on and on and on and on. So Black City might not be working with me, but I'm sure he's super happy as the owner and CEO of Black Entertainment, which produces Stonebwoy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Shatta Junior UTV. I want to ask this question. Most of the times when there is a problem with artists, is let's say the fans who suffers most. After you and Shatta were united, I'm asking this question because will there be a day that I'll see Stonebwoy having a collabo with Shatta? Because in your speech you did mention that when the band is going to be lifted now, it's going to help to serve as a deterrent to.
Yes, which is what the VGMA board is about, right?
Yes. So will there also be a time?
Okay, that is what I'll correct on
Will
my
there
side,
also
which
be
is
a
true.
day and time where you will come up with a good song, the two of you, for other incoming or upcoming artists who also learn late?
Yes.
Will there be a time like that?
There have to be a time like that coming, or else our mission wouldn't be accomplished. when Bonte and Beanie Man literally came together after years, they managed to drop some songs that, you know, fed the crave of the fans and the masses, and it was a huge one. Shatta and I definitely must, else I do not think that our mission would have been accomplished, you know, but most often wishes are not horses, and you cannot always get what you want at the time that you want them, because these are two individual teams. We are not a group working together. We are individuals though, so timings have to come to play. Especially, let's not make this sound like it's not business, you know, business backgrounds. So many things have to go on to make sure that whatever we're doing, we can drive for a longer period. Why are we even involved in the business part is not because anybody says business means that they all need their part is the money. No. What do? We're musicians, commercial musicians. We don't sing for free. Sometimes we might give you a line or two for free, but we have to consider all aspects, you know, to be able to take certain decisions when it comes to recording musical material together, because that then goes on to the royalties and the other things and interest protections and all of that. So it's my wish that all these things will come to book nicely done, and we'll be able to give Ghanaians and the world a beautiful piece of track, an album, a video, however they want it. Style, baby.
Okay, my name is Samuel from UTA. Stonebwoy, I know you have a couple of programs to be undertaken within this year, but I'd like to know, what is this actually one thing that you're looking forward to achieve by the end of the year? And also, my second question, we've seen this several times, signing a full artist and later end up in something else. Do you see it right for an artist to sign a full artist on record label?
Thank you very much. It's a good question. But we're still moving, and I know that big things are going to be happening. I have plans for this year. I do not think that what I want to achieve in 2020 I have already done yet. You know, but I have quite some plans that I pray to God to help for me to achieve, to make it remarkable. So I think we can take time, not jump the gun. Maybe when December 2020 hits, I can be able to stand proud and be bold and say this was, you know, something that I had planned that I was able to do. That's the most. Meanwhile, on the signing part, it's a beautiful thing to, you know, actually help people, because it's a popular saying that, you know, rise by helping others. You know what I mean? Most often, if you do not care wise how you know, like, most often that doesn't play in every situation, you know, but it's good to always continue to lend help, you know, to people. But coming to signing artists in Ghana, like you said, it always tends to be something else. You know, I think there's that because there are so many things we do not check. There are so many things we do not understand before even jumping into. You know, and there are so many things we do not consider either. Because all we just want to do is that once upon a time, we help somebody and it feels good if you're somebody that loves to help. But I think it's not what we are, but a number of us have tried, and I say failed, you know, because of so many reasons and more. Now it's time that we have to not rush, and this would be an advice to anybody who seeks to do, who feels that they are on top of the ladder and might want to help somebody or grow somebody or sign another artist. I think that is best we take time to even fix things, you know, in our teams, and fix structures that would help that to work. And I would say that I admire, you know, I admire Livingston Entertainment to an extent, because they seem to always have, you know, that record of working with artists and, you know, and doing it right to an extent. But may I chiefly say, even them don't have it easy. And there's always an issue about exit and the rest, you know what I mean? So I would blame it on Ghanaians not actually understanding, Ghanaian artists like myself, not actually fixing things before, you know, they bring people on musically. But personally, there's always attitudes, and I think people feel different ways and all. But the happiness it brings to me is that in Ghana, one thing we do is we observe everything, we know everything, but we keep quiet and stare like we do not, you know. Pertaining to the issues surrounding mind, we don't want to go too far and be too diplomatic about it, but we all see clear, we all see things. You know, I get tweets that tend to ridicule me and insult me. I get, you know, I've gotten messages that I haven't even displayed or shown to nobody, and by the time you check the thing, it's like, if I give that attention now, I'm just going to drop down to a certain level where I think Ghanaians will not be happy about, you know, just because, you know, you have to somewhat want to see, oh no, we are bigger than a lot of things and we have to see ourselves very big and move on. But let us not also stay blind to the clear picture, you know, and do the needful. Yeah, and you know what I mean? And this particular person is somebody who is being produced, managed, whatever, by my former manager. You know, let's keep some things on the clean. You get songs that manifest my brother feature, you know, and then it's throwing shades and all. I mean, I am the captain of one of the biggest beefs in this country, so these ones are not close.
My name is Stonebwoy and I'm a regular multimedia group. Now, before you advertised with Black CD and Calvin Boy, there was a lady on your record label that's Ovi.
Yeah.
I want to know, is it still signed on your record label as an artiste? And if not, what has happened to her?
Thank you very much. On the situation with Ovi, it was also absolutely one of the efforts to help. You know, if you're around me, you're close to me, you know my intent and my heart too. But unfortunately, I'm not the same one that oversaw, you know, things until my attention was properly drawn to. And that's the reason why I have to lay off and restructure ultimately and put things apart. So guess what? I think when I did the first interview and made mention of it, I said when we fix things internally, we will come out to speak about that as well. But I thought at that point it was not really necessary. And so now that I have the opportunity and you guys are here, I think I'll drop it. In the interest of it's in the best interest, you know, that the company actually see their time to bear and release her literally. So she's long been released and is on her own and stuff, and still gets the support from the team and myself anytime, any day, just like it was from the beginning. The way I met Ovi sent me a tweet a long time ago, like one of the ways I do. Saw the tweet and I retweeted it, and on it went. Big ups to the fan base, BIM Nation, BIM government. You guys are super amazing. Anything I touch, they endorse. So within the twinkle of an eye, Ovi was, you know, already getting the support of, she's not the first person that would get that opportunity, and she wouldn't be the last either, you know, thanks to the BIM Nation fan base. So she got into the MTN project fame, MTN, whatever, and you guys saw how well she did by literally getting the support of my fan base and performing some of my songs. And I had my support behind her, so luckily enough she emerged the winner. And I have a very, very good friend, businesswoman, of a friend of mine who's a woman, who actually brought her to my house and said, look, you're forcefully going to do this if you like it or not. Right in front of the girl when I haven't met her in person, I'm like, listen, there's a holla. But, you know what I mean? Because from all that time, I was still working on the internal things that were happening so that it doesn't come to add up. And she's my witness, but I wished and hoped that that would also run smooth. But, you know, you can't put pain on pain or trouble on trouble, so we try to an extent. But I believe that even having failed at, you know, that, in quote, the levels that it has brought this kid to is well enough for them to stand upon, because many people just run off the takeoff by a tweet, by an opportunity. So how much more taking you along with us, opening doors that some people on their own haven't even opened yet. You know, the least you can do is not to try to fight this, because that's how you lose it all. So you just have to maintain upon the little help that you got and keep running. So Ovi is no more with us, is not with us, you know, work-wise. But she's okay, she's good. She came to my house the last time, we had a nice chat. Like, it's all positive from my end, super positive. And sometimes I think that the media can get a lot more when some other people do the answering. So I beg that you put them on the line as well, so you can compare the facts and ask some more questions. Yeah.
Stone. Big.
Big up.
Alright, let's side to the beat. We can representing EIV. I understand. Before Rose, I was on the LG again.
Absolutely.
That's right. So I'd like to say congratulations, my brother.
Thank you, boss.
I think you've come very far, and I appreciate you a lot. I have worked with you and your team
Sure.
on several projects, from X Concept,
Sure.
where we're in different stages.
Sure.
And I think that you are among one of the few artists who have been able to carry yourself well in terms of timing, self-branding, how you communicate. And I must say that it's not difficult working with you.
Thank you.
Because when we give you time and you tell Beam or Stone is sex, the man is there for. He's waiting for you. You don't go through hassles. We've worked with other artists and you can't help, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, going forward, I would like to tell you that keep on keeping on like that.
Thank you.
And then stay focused.
Thank you.
All right? A lot of people are watching you. People might not talk, but for all you know, they love your brand. They love who you are. Keep it safe like that. But my bet is, I don't know, lately, you know, Ghanaians and our hospitality. We come to football, we play with our Nigerian brothers. You know, there's this kind of competition. Looking at the music industry as well. Lately, I realized that you've performed in Nigeria a few times, right? And some other Ghanaian artists. But I don't know whether it is intentional from our Nigerian brothers and sisters there trying to keep your spirit down. They call the name Stonebwoy from Ghana or X from Ghana, and like you see the fans sometimes turning their back. They come to Ghana, and then we help them. But I want to also blame part of our radio presenters and our media people. As media people, I think we seem to hail foreigners or outsiders so much than giving that attention to our own people. Do you feel hurt?
Thank you very much, boss. And I think I'll describe it more than hate. I'll describe it more than hate, that type of situation, how it looks like. But my hate is actually coming from, I think, our part. Exactly, because we can only solve and fix ourselves to be able to be happier compared to any other receiving end. So I'll take it from the Nigerian part. I don't have a problem with. I honestly cannot blame anybody out there in Nigeria for whatever they do to us. Like how it's being seen and it's being speculated. Because one, you can't force anybody to, you know, accept what they do not know or whatever. But to be very, very, very honest, the last 2-3 months I've seen me going into Nigeria to do some shows back to back, like Sound City MVP, which is one of the biggest. I was among the top 2-3 to close the show. Afrima was also top 3 to close the show, hosted in Nigeria. On the continent of Africa, I think I should be honest to say that I'm one of the known Ghanaian on the continent of Africa and beyond. And Nigeria loves me.
It's true.
So I will never actually paint them black in this situation because I'll take time to die it down so we all get the picture clearly. When I step at Nigeria, Montala, from one, you hear, well, that's from immigration to wherever I go. But I think that is not it all. On stage as I've played, if I think that they rubbish me as one of the boys on the continent, I would be like a state opener, the treatment and hospitality with the rough. But honestly speaking, I'm one of the persons who don't like to hide things that have to be told to fix a problem. If the problem hasn't been fixed yet already. Nigeria gives me my respect. Whatever it be on my technical rider or my performance rider, it's obeyed, and I go in and do that as a performer. Whatever business that they be, it was also done. But when it comes to the fan-based bit, I think that their industry has a certain regulation that doesn't allow inflow like that. So on one-on-one basis, you may be previewed or privileged or open to enjoying other people's music from across Africa and the world. But everybody literally gets the same treatment. I've seen other top artists from outside of Africa get the same treatment. And one of the things I can say now, not having critically talked about, is that I think there's a lot more to do in penetrating somebody else's territory. But they also have every right, they have the legal rights to protect their airspace. So if we are not protecting ours and promoting ours and sending ours across, it's a competitive world, of course, on every level of business. China is going here, America is doing that, Iran and all those ones. It's the same way I think in entertainment too. We also have to push out to go. But I think that we've left our guard too open, and that's what is causing the pain. That you don't get the same love is not reciprocated. But it doesn't mean that they don't know you. They know you better. And that's the level to the most they can actually receive you. And if this is us being received at that level, then we can imagine somebody who has to now struggle through. But I'm not saying that we have to cease. Any Nigerian can get up any day and have something done in Ghana easily. True or false? Even an event they have, they can have an VGMA there. So you see now, sometimes we just have to maybe join them. And then we are all the same. We have to push on. And these are some of the fights that we face. What I'm facing is my portion of the fight. Because I could easily say it for Nigeria there. But I'm in the faith, I'm still knocking, I'm still kicking. I think that's the part that I don't play, literally. Even as because the other route is to say, I'm not gonna go there anymore.
Because in SA, I was in South Africa recently saying, tuning to radio and YFM, your local songs, really South African songs. I couldn't even, all my 1 week I spent there, I couldn't even get one foreign song.
Exactly.
So what are we doing?
So I think that the pain, we shouldn't bring the pain on nobody. We should also work hard and, get the results that we want. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chief.
My name is Kwame.
Yes.
And I see a number of items listed on your backdrop representing various bits of you. And my interest is with the boss energy drink.
Yeah.
And then let me even ask a question before you respond to the bit about boss energy. Now I want to know if you have been called before the law courts to answer charges on your acts on the night of the VGMAs. Now, it is still in court. Has your legal team, for instance, explored the possibility of settling out of court with the state? Is it something that you want to? I believe that hiring lawyers to do your bidding, you and your brother Shatta, is quite it's not cheap, even the time and everything. Yeah. But if you have by yourselves, and I believe have shown that willingness to, you've shown remorseful acts.
Yeah.
Now, I think you've also considering the relationship as it stands now, it's quite peaceful, which is what we all want. Now, I also believe that the state is also spending too much time whilst there are other things they can pursue. So, can you or would you want to consider reaching out to them? Maybe in your company you have the president of the Musicians Union. Call on other people to join your company to reach out to the state that can we settle out of court and maybe some community service or whatever it is. Are you considering that possibility? And then 2, boss energy drink. Initially, some of us thought that you had endorsed a brand, and then some of the communication coming from your own live updates on Instagram, for instance, suggest, and correct me if I'm wrong, do you own the brand, or what is the relationship between you and Boss Energy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Taking it from the first one, it's very obvious that after the whatever that happened, we live in a country where we have law really works, but sometimes you have to, you don't have to disregard the fact that we are a lawful country. So at heights like that, I know that the government or the states, the police, whatever, would actually come to them after to come check and what next. So after that stage, I think it went on the obvious. So and the least I can say about that, the better for me. So I'll just introduce my legal guy here, consultant right there, Mr. Jonathan. I'm up there, and then Selali Wanya as well, from the legal team and the consultant department. They will handle that later, whatever they do. And then on the boss issue as well, yes, that's more business and so the detail of it I'll leave to Mr. John Amanda. But honestly speaking, I may not, because we're not allowed like that to just pew out every detail that there was. It started by being a brand ambassador to the Boss Energy vibe, and then we also had secondary discussions, behind closed doors. And I mean, just for the fun days and for the progress made, when the opportunity brought itself, and it was right after the secondary discussions on a possibility and such, because in Ghana you find out that everybody just does the brand ambassador business, and I think I do not know of or have heard of in the public, but this is a different move that I think will inspire a lot of people to also think beyond just representing for the brand and actually owning a piece of the cake somehow, if you can, so that is what we did now, and I've pushed it to a notch where it belongs here more than I'm just a brand ambassador too, so when they speak, they might put some more flesh on it too, on their side, this is the informal side, sort of, as if, they speak. Yeah.
All right, thank you. We're going to take a few more questions, about 3 or 4 more. They've already been selected. Anybody else? We have to do it one-on-one.
Okay, I'm Owen, and this question goes to Chio. Okay. Stonebwoy. The person in Kanichi said, I think, sir.
Now you say think me and me
say, but that's okay. It's in the say Ghana for or Ghana Hane Amoneo, a quite bibria, you bet me a fast aboa Ghanaian artist. But you go on is okay. Artist no encan was say we are artist we are and no be release album in 2% in 2 coin and year on there. Tell me a dear protein and Stonebwoy when they say it's a Ghana for more Ghana. And then I'm on a year the brand Stonebwoy obey me I stand out with him in the tree as a global icon, musically, because I think there are a lot of things that we as Ghanaians can do to support our artists when they let us know what they want or what they think we can do to support them. Because everything that we are saying here is like
get them
on that platform. Because I think all we are doing here is Stonebwoy person there, Stonebwoy person there, Stonebwoy person there. Then a Stonebwoy so Jenny said, Ghana for a year boana. Height non person on Juno. Obey to me a drew.
And I say, Yamisha, if you and then that's Ghana for so I say, up to this extent, support I in Ghana had the ideas and I better will be say almost support to Amanda and I support Yano Amanda so and this one know them but near so many I am the parent say Ghana has support supporter said you will be more fans And then more talk. And then who be Shatta Wale maybe sack. You know, 2 days, you know, I wear them yapuno. And then we track on Accra and I say went to Accra as artists. I want to meet you at least. But they at least cry now. They don't want to man who fully Accra and I say maybe you Accra no. Then you 5 CDs. 85 CD a day times 7 times the all. I said so budget so this the list for a year no crown more for the fans. And I just say baby no call and I say in your young the better for free musicians any actors in Juma no crown any entertainers in Juma no more or so no quite to say Nyame Juma more. Sana etiasie no etie more ewo the local masses now omo no me the majority no sana is etiasie no sana me feel say akoye the organ of open to na you say yebe say eyayi na ye mo ni mo bitre for us to be able to get on those platforms they say you know internet is playing a very big role but it's not their fault. Internet is also expensive in Ghana. But as a meanwhile, Tanzania, Tanzania, Kenya, East Africa, they are most active when it comes to internet and online activities that have to do to support, because to promote their artists, because aside their number, you know, means also with all these things that I'm hoping to know, I understand some things to an extent, you know, about how we're not gaining the right kind of support to be able to get onto the heights. And also I'm saying mindset and also misunderstanding need your work. Obi only who try to say the tear crown or the now can any already OT. But then also found when they are ready now for a very, very long time. If it says in a can crack a crown as a sound when it say Ghana for Akasan, they will do the supporting, but you see the foreign artists being your local and I hear general, whatever from whichever school to whichever school. We have a class of people in Ghana who actually know what's up and play big roles, you know, in making sure that other people know that all they are known the Ghana in young and that's all best about the Ghana in Ghana for and also of course will come. So as Ghanaians, we make us just the listeners. Ghanaians are able to need to do certain things that need financial strength and knowledge and everything and to help they hear someone now to be able to get us onto that level. But I know it's not always sometimes we do this and I say we need to buy a whole artist here. Just say you are now when the support is coming, all these things are coming it's you, it's for you, and I'll feel me want to say because a country can only drive this to tourism and its agendas and its whatever it wants and how it wants to look through its creative arts and culture. And who are those that come to play? The musicians, the actors, the one who want to say we be yama. We look at the video because we be one 2 days or their own feeling, but or the exhibition when you are victims, even to extent where young Casanova sometimes as a people, foreign life, you know what I mean? Like it's in their mindset, sometimes they can be their sense. So now you say, in Yama when you can't be a young Casasi, when you're to be more whom I do levels are Nigeria for your own. Say, okay, I have to give credit to where it's due. Could be behind the world, that's all where their mind goes. It's Nigeria, and Oman now okay, and Rana Hama, and then he didn't come out of Chelsea. That's when Two-Face and then used to come shoot videos here, then Ghanaians were, and all of a sudden they just spread off, and I'm saying, yes, that is the thing. They have had to identify the problem and agree and understand to fix it. That's why today they are leading, which is right. So if we also want to be in the lead, there are so many things that we have to emulate.
Boy.
Awesome.
Thank
you very much.
Good move. This present reminded you on all your good work so far. Many have argued that to cross borders and to go far, especially when you're coming from this part of the world, you may have to sing in English. A lot of your songs are in English and that kind of thing. But I think you have less of Ghanaian language songs than you have in other languages. I stand to be corrected.
Probably.
Good. Do you think singing in English?
Yes. To speak.
Say again?
More of the English they take us to speak.
So do you feel that singing in English or a language that the rest of the world can identify with, it's one of the things that has propelled your career and given you recognition globally as compared to other local acts?
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for this question. This came up like a few days ago on social media and I had to share my view. I think Lydia Fossey wrote something very intelligent. From the point that she stands, it makes sense. And so I added some and I saw it running all over the place. Like everything plays a part. Everything plays a role. Everything. Language itself as you speak, the melody of the music and the genre of music itself, and even to an extent who is the artist and where does he come from. All these things play roles. And I think that in our time now, we are not going to be the last people here, and we will never be the first. And there have been people, therefore the things that they've done to grow a certain industry have had influence and have had control on what is happening today. The reality being that I was growing up listening to high life music and I loved it a lot. I can actually sing some high life that people would refuse sing. But before I chose the genre of music to do once upon a time, when I thought, what if I take this seriously? I thought about my parents and I thought about what they would accept or could accept. The hip life was around them time there when we started minding these things in primary school. Interestingly, what I told myself was to do something that my mother would not be angry about if it became big. Just thinking at one point in time, or my father as well. So I couldn't go in front of him and start to sing. Wow, so if maybe, I'm just saying, like, singing, thinking that to do that. Hey. Because around that time, you're either crazy. It's just like, it was not too long ago when Ghanaian parents would allow their kids to play football. It was not too long ago, and same with the music. So probably them times, not too long ago, I'm not too old, that was even around. So I chose reggae came to mind because my father would play from Bob Marley and play some Peter Tosh and stuff, and that's so subconsciously I just felt like that is what he can relate to. So I loved it and I yanked it, and that's how I'm one of my, and especially for the value and the message it brought or it spoke about it, all these added up to my influence of doing music now with patois, blending it with tree and ewe and stuff. Some people say, hey, boy, no, you too much. I told them in Tinio Kano. Good. Some people, how the trees are. Hey, patois, they already say, so, me identifying myself, I've identified myself with a certain key things when it comes to language, but that though does not determine the overall success. I can't even say what percent that fits into, And if you understood whatever I say, it will be much more easier for you to even join in and understand what I'm saying. Because the melodies themselves and the feeling it brings also explains different things to you. But now the overall success lies not with the language. This is where every other thing have to come to play to make a break, to break like a big artist, which is what the Angelic Kiddos have done. Else, their language barrier would have been the one that would even stop them the most. If the mechanism is most powerful, you can even sing Zamarama, it will cross. But if the mechanism is not powerful and you're singing in the most commercial language on earth, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to cross. So, King, I think the language forms a part of it, but doesn't guarantee to make it blow, because music itself is a universal language. Yeah. And thank you very much. A few weeks ago, I was arguing, so to feel good as a Ghanaian, about who invented fiber optics, that is Wi-Fi and stuff that we use. And when I said it was a Ghanaian, I'm so what? Ghana media on the line, I was like, oh, true. Then we just went on Google, put it there, and we saw Dr. Thomas Mensah. Thank you very much, Daddy, for coming. I'm so surprised.
First, I want to kind of commend you and congratulate you for what you've done.
Thank you very much.
For what you've done. And also, what you just said, that the language wasn't critical, is because you know Fela Kuti.
Yeah.
Fela Kuti sang in his language.
Yes.
And so he was all of it. So, you know, continue to do what you do.
Thank you very much.
And we are here to support you.
I'm really grateful.
You have influence on the youth in Ghana. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here at press conference.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm really happy. I was surprised when I was told. I'm like, oh, I was just talking about you. Like, you're one of the people I grab with at least, so we can keep pushing and celebrating our own, from the intelligence point to Ghanaians are doing so much. But so we all know this is one of the things we hardly do. We hardly celebrate each other. We hardly, we often break down people. You know, you know, it's all part of the problem. But gradually.
And I'll be inviting you. I'll be inviting you to Kumasi. I'm launching a book with a tooth called The Right Stuff Comes in Black too.
Thank you.
Tufo wrote the foreword. Now, during the lunch, which is close to Tufo's birthday, the 5th of May, a drone will bring an account stool with a book inside from the sky to land on the ground, just like the golden.
Thank you. Wow.
When it gets here, Tufo and I will take the book out and begin the lunch. You are bringing all major people around the world.
Thank you very much.
Including the president of Nigeria, Aliko Dangote, and some big names. So I'd like to invite you.
Thank you.
How about?
Thank you. Great. Thank you.
Alright. Okay. I'm G.A. Shaipa. Stonebwoy. Last December, surprisingly, the big concert was moved to Tamale. For us who have not been in Tamale for quite some time, we want to know how the beam music is like in Tamale, the reception, everything. And then is it going to be a regional rotational event, or it's going to revert back to Accra?
Thank you very much. You know, I mean, this sounds some way, but my music in the north is like well received to that level where you know that I became the chieftaincy of Sapashine, who was honored to see the overlord himself after 16 years of emptiness or whatever, you know. And these are all things that show you that they have a certain value for the arts, and therefore if you push and you keep proving yourself worthy of their support, they'll give it to you, you know. So that's the state of affairs when it comes to Stonebwoy in the north. I believe that I give them a lot of respect, so I'm highly respected as well. The change. With the inception of the first one, which moved from Accra, the plan and the belief is that it will keep rotating so that people can also have a feel of, you know, and I think the whole team, Magic House, Brenta Group, Kaya Tours, and you know, that was splendid. Like we actually moved people from Accra to Kumasi, to Tamale, Accra, Kumasi. People came from different parts to converge in Tamale to make that great event. You know, I am grateful for the fans for the opportunity to continue to thank them that their support is well needed for the possibility of the next one, you know, if it's not going to stay in Accra. Because if it moves from Accra, it involves like 3 times, 4 times everything that it takes to make it happen.
All right, my name is Kodeche. And so from inception, one thing I like about you, admire about your music and is your production. Now from 2012, grade 1, 2014, Necessary Evil, 2017, episode Mama, there's been improvement from production, from sound, from time to time. Now, with this particular album, what measures are we putting in place to make it a very standard production? Because when I'm talking about the world music, the Grammys, they look at sound quality, the production. So what measures are we going to put in place so that we're proud of the sound that will come from this album? And again, your promotional plan is always amazing. With episode Mama, how you promoted it from one song with the video coming out, the plan is so fabulous. What is the plan for this particular album?
Thank you very much. Sound-wise, you know, we always have to keep improving to make sure that we get the right sound, the right standard sound for the consumption of people, because you don't want to hear, like, only your ear can tell rubbish sound when you hear it, but you don't want to have too much bad comments coming from what they've heard. So just like the tradition goes, my team and I, the engineers, the producers, we're working so hard, and as I speak to you, many of us have come of level where you'll be amazed what type of sound a Ghanaian is producing. And you've had the help of the softwares. Once you can afford them, you know that you can sit in the corner of your house and then spew out great sounds. So we've worked on that. I'm actually excited about the type of sound that is coming on the album. Trust me. I'm not opening people's minds up to something like, you know, me, I love to under-promise and over-deliver. You know? So I pray and I know that by the time this album lands and you take the sound and listen, you now understand where I was mentally and what I want to achieve with it. If you understand music, this is what I said about the album. If you love music and creativity and understand music and sound, you actually fall in love with this album.
My name is Jerome from Shrine Publications. We've seen other top GH artists step into merchandising and fashion. So we'd like to know, and the brands didn't really go that far. So we'd like to know, is this business, is this something that's here to stay, or just another avenue for being fans to get their hands of Stonebwoy souvenirs?
Thank you very much. I'm taking from the second one. It's another, not just another, like it's just here. It is actually the avenue for hardcore fans, my fans, you know, and loved ones, the industry, and everybody to be able to grab something that is close to them, because they may not always have me around. And trust me, this is not the inception. I'm not the creator of this type of style. Like to sit here and feel like I'm the first one that is producing merchandise. No, we have all have to get inspired by those who have always tried. You know, so most of them will succeed. Most of them will fail. Some of us will still succeed, some of us will fail. But the reality is that there's an inspiration, and they have left us an inspiration to continue to step in that line until you know we succeed. So I will use the opportunity to say big ups to everybody who had tried a thing or two as an artist, as a popular person. I know that the reason is not financially based solely. Like I told you already, part and process of this one goes into the Livingston Foundation as well. You look at it from job creation, look at it from, you know, putting a thing down for tourism's sake as well. Look at it from all these aspects, you know. Look at it from production and all of that. If it wasn't inspirationally motivated, there were other things we could have done with such finances to improve, you know, in several other aspects. But this is a thing that is key as well. So you can find out that no matter how many times people fail at it, there's always a reason to continue to try again. But this will not fail. Stonebwoy can fail, Ghana can fail. You understand? We continue to push.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for yourselves. Thank you so much. To those of you who wanted to ask questions, unfortunately because of time, more questions, unfortunately because of time, we cannot continue. But I think you'll be available for a few one-on-ones. So if you do want to ask him, please see any of the ushers, put your name down, and during lunch, you'll be able to have that opportunity. Yeah. At this point, I don't know if your legal team wants to make any closing remarks.
Yes,
Some of the
pertaining to questions somebody asked or they left or
yeah.
you can answer. How did you forget the question?
I think he was asking about whether you wanted an out of court settlement or so. And then there was another question in relation to that.
Hello everyone. The matters are pending in court. We are not at liberty to make any specific comments as any outcomes or anything that's going on the level. Okay, right. The matters are currently pending in court, so we are not at liberty to make any specific comments or give any commentary as to what's happening in the court. I mean, it's a public matter. Some of you guys are seeing courts at the time. So let's just keep what is in the public as general information for everyone. Now, with respect to Obi, as Stone rightly said, discussions were had, the mutual understanding was had, and then she was relieved from her contract with PMG. That's been so go. So that's the situation with yes, with Boss Energy Drink, it's again, as Stone said, it started off as a brand ambassadorial agreement just to endorse the products, but like it's grown. We are looking at a franchising agreement. That is what it actually is. So we kind of once you own the franchise, it's like own it, but it's a franchise. The product producers are there. We all know who's producing the product. It's just a franchise that's so Stone has. Yes.
All right.
Yes. I don't know whether he spoke about it, but then there's a surprise coming up with the Boss Energy Drink. So you guys just look out for it. Let's see something different. BMG is always looking to do something different. So set the pace, please the trail, and others will follow suit.
All right. So any closing remarks from you?
Thank you very much. So, like you rightly said, ownership is in diverse ways. You can see one company sitting somewhere, and all we say is that we think it's just one person or it's an individual, whatever. So the Bean Boss franchise is well owned by yours faithfully, henceforth for a period of time. So we will all be disclosed as and when we are allowed and at liberty to. So feel free to call me the Bean Boss or the Big Boss. There are surprises coming your way that will authenticate the talk. Thank you very much for coming. I think that yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. On the 20. Okay. Well, I couldn't. Sorry, I was telling me to talk about the lunch lines. There are so many lunches going on right now. I think we have to break or probably close for lunch, and then also in February or early March, whatever, the big shop is going to be launched. That's another lunch, and the album 2 will be released on the 5th of March. Come Alive. So how can you find me? And then on the 14th of February, which is Valentine's Day, which is Friday. And then I think I'll drop a thing for the fans as well, so they can enjoy. So there are many things going on. Thank you guys for your continued support and to